What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. What we're going to do is talk about this motorcycle incident. It's going to be a very close call, and the reason why I haven't been playing it because it's like right here. So let's go ahead and start and see what happens, and then we're going to talk about kind of what to do, and because this is very common with newer riders, especially when they get up to speed. They don't really know how to slow down. So let's go ahead and talk about this and what happened. As you can tell, I'm using a different setup. Mic is like stretched over here, a little bit of different lighting. So let me know if this is something you like or you don't even care. But first and foremost, what we have here is we have an off ramp. So we're going at a high rate of speed on the interstate or on the highway. So we have to go off. So we have to, slow down. So what's happening here is that this is going to be a very sharp turn off ramp. So we have the off ramp where we're going over here, and now we start slowing down, and then we have to make the turn to continue on to basically the junction where we're going to be merging into. But this one is going to be a lot sharper, and you can tell with the signs. Now the signs are going to indicate this is going to be a sharp right turn, recommended 20 miles per hour. That is not there because, governments are saying, hey, you should slow down around this turn because we want to own you. This is going to be one of those things where it's like, this is a warning. A lot of these yellow signs are warning signs or caution signs. And when it says recommended 20 miles per hour, especially when you're going from, let's say, a 65 mile an hour highway, interstate, whatever it is, down to 20, that's a huge decrease. So that should give you a clue, an indication of, hey, I should slow down. I should not be going super fast. And I should use this off-ramp portion, the straightaway portion where I just merged onto to take this exit to slow down before the turn. So slow, look, press, and roll is going to be very important in this situation. And this is giving you a clue that you should be slowing down prior to the turn. So if this is what's going to be happening, he's going to be making a right-hand turn, and he's not slowing down enough. He's going to be going too high rate of speed, and it's going to cause some issues. So right here, he's going to go ahead and start to slow down. This is a 405 north, so this is California, I believe, and then 20 mile an hour sharp right turn. So this is what it's literally telling you to do. So he's going to go ahead and try to do that, and you see the little skid marks. He's starting to move around a little bit. He's starting to kind of rotate. You can't really tell too much because of how the camera's set up. You can't see the bike. But if we scroll back, let's go ahead and watch that again. He's going to be moving back and forth, especially his head. And what that means is that he's applying the brakes, and it's starting to make that little squirrely fishtail feel to it. So a little bit too much rear brake, not enough progressive front brake pressure. And I talk about that on the DDFM Crew website, where we can talk about progressive brake pressure, how to slow down, how to stop effectively. So I highly recommend you guys check that video out. I will have it at the end of this video too. So he's going to be trying to slow down. He's going to fishtail with that rear brake, locking up that rear tire. It's not going to allow him to really stop because it doesn't provide the best brake pressure. When it's combined with front brake pressure, it'll do really well. But just by itself, it's not going to do very much. So what's going to happen here, we're going to watch it, and he's going to go and start sliding. You see how the head's starting to do this? That's him starting to slide, trying to gain traction, trying to gain control. So what he's doing, he's utilizing something that we teach in the MSF. Now, if you're going too fast into a turn, or if something is happening and you do have a shoulder, let's say a car is stopped right here, and it's like you're going too fast and you can't swerve. There's nowhere to swerve, so you have to brake, but you see that you have an escape path. You have this massive shoulder. Utilize it. Your total stopping distance will be, your reaction time, the moment that you start applying the brakes, and then the moment you stop. That is total stopping distance. So if you can utilize your total stopping distance with this shoulder, highly recommend it to avoid an object, or so you can avoid having to apply the brakes super hard in the middle of a turn, which can cause you to dump your bike, wash out, do a low slide, and that's going to be very dangerous. And right here, this is going to be one of the better options when it comes to that. Stopping a straight line is always going to be better than trying to stop in a curve. So what he's going to do, he's going to start applying the brakes, apply the brakes, and even go off-road a little bit, but it's going to be enough to where he's going to stop. All the weight transferred forward, that's almost the reason why he's probably looking down, because his body pretty much shifted to the front, which is going to help you out with brake pressure, more weight on the tire, loading the tire, more mechanical grip. Everything is going to cause more friction, which is going to cause you to stop. And that's what he did. He utilized his straight movement into the shoulder with an escape path to stop. If you notice on here, he has GPS, so maybe he's not used to the area and didn't realize that this was going to be a sharp turn, because maybe all the other on and off ramps that he's been doing has been pretty easy turns, and he was able to utilize his speed or his training to make those turns. But this one was different. Now, this is what's going to happen to a lot of new riders, is that we're going to assume, we're going to get complacent. Something hasn't happened yet. 10 out of 10 behind this one was probably a perfect situation, and now this 11th one is not. That is where you're going to get hurt. That is where you're going to get in very big trouble. In firefighting, I keep mentioning complacency, but that's pretty much what it is. When you are so used to fighting fires or doing EMS calls, and they're all pretty much the same to you, well, I don't need to train. I'm already doing this. I don't need to know these extra things or these crazy circumstantial things. I don't need to, because my whole career has been this, easy fire, same thing, and then you start to get lazy. So that can easily happen on a motorcycle, where you take on ramps, off ramps, easy. This turn is easy, all these different things. I never had an issue. And then that one time that there's gonna be something that was unexpected, that's gonna bite you in the ass. So this is why having hazard perception and zoning in is super important. It's the important thing that you guys need to understand, is that you need to be able to see the hazard, then your skills will kick in. So with firefighting, you need to constantly practice and then constantly scan for any type of hazards, roof collapse, building construction, read the smoke, read the flames, what type of stage are we in, incipient, decay, all these different things, because you need to know what happens in that situation. You need to know if you're about to get flashed over in a fire and then you'll die. You need to know that stuff. You need to know how to take care of your buddy and do buddy breathing, in case his SCBA fails or in case your SCBA fails. All these different things, you have to understand that, because those are the things that come out of nowhere. And with motorcycling, everything comes out of nowhere if you're not paying attention. Everything. So the moment you learn and the moment you can figure out, and I'm sorry I'm getting on a soapbox here, but the moment you figure all this stuff out and you start to really focus on the hazard, your skills, you'll understand what skills you really need. So that is super important. So constantly practice your skills, and it's mainly just swerve, emergency braking, and then finding hazards. That's really all you need to do. All the clutch, all the not the braking, because you're gonna have to practice that, but all the clutch, the shifting, line position, all these different things will come later. That comes with experience, but you can definitely utilize the swerving. You can definitely use body positioning when it comes to cornering, counter steering. So practice that. You can definitely utilize swerving. All these different things that you could really utilize the first day you get on a bike. Okay, sorry for the soapbox. This was a great incident. This was a very good incident when it comes to a close call. He was able to stop in time, no injuries, no issues. The original video is like, oh my gosh, I almost crashed. And I know a lot of you guys have these feelings, and I don't want you to have those feelings. I want you to be safe. I want you to have the best time on a motorcycle, because the moment you have a close call, your confidence is shot until you start training and start getting more confidence in your skills. I never want you guys to have to deal with that, but if you do, understand it's your fault, and since it's your fault, you can practice and train to fix it. If it was everyone else's fault, guess what? There's nothing we could do about it. But man, there's so much we can do about how we ride and how we can be safe. Let's do it. Right hand, same thing. Pull it in, and by pull I mean squeeze, don't grab, don't yank. Squeeze it in and pull. Think of an orange in your hand. Go ahead and grab an orange if you have one, whatever. I want you to grab it and squeeze slowly to get that juice out. You don't just yank it and smash it